Hello, and welcome to Spirit at Work. Our guest today is Michael Gaffney, Vice President of Marketing for United Way of Summit County. Welcome.
Thank you, Father Norm. Thanks for having me, Larry.
Michael.
Right away, thinking about the kind of work you do in United Way, and it's a nonprofit organization. How did you evolve to get to a point where you got involved? Was this always an interest?
It wasn't, the nonprofit world wasn't my initial interest. I got a degree in communication from the University of Akron and started out working for several ad agencies in town over the first 10 years or so of my career. And then I got a job with a small pediatric rehabilitation hospital up in Cleveland. And they were a nonprofit, and then they were a United Way organization up there. And loved the work and loved, being around people as they were, having issues in their life and trying to figure out a way to help them. And then this job opened up at United Way in Summit County, and I applied for it and got it, and been there 11 years now. And I've just found that for me, that, warm fuzzy at the end of the day, knowing the work that I do is, several degrees away from the actual service that people need, but I know that I'm playing a part in helping to make people's lives better, and that to me is a bonus.
Michael, a good bit of what you do through the work that you do touches what we might call the marginalized people of our community. Do you see in the work that you do that some of the leadership in the community may be somewhat marginalized or disconnected as well? Without blaming them in any kind of way, but have you noticed anything in that?
I'm very fortunate because the people that we deal with, the volunteers who help with United Way, running the campaign, making the allocations to our organizations, the volunteers at the other nonprofits that I deal with, these are people who are whole, who are complete, and know that they have to do the work that they do in order to be successful, but they also have to volunteer. They have to do these other things that get them involved with us in United Way. I know there are people out there, you describe marginalized in those different ways than our clients maybe, but I'm fortunate because I get to see the best of the best in every way. The most successful people are not just people who have reach the pinnacle of their career, but are also the most, successful in their whole life and are making a difference in the community and everything that they do. So I'm fortunate in that way.
Can I follow up on that
Sure.
then? Just what makes them successful or effective leaders, in your opinion, just from the access to the community that you've had and working with them on a lot of the good stuff that United Way does?
Well, for me, it is that, it's the old quote, you want to get something done, you find the busiest people, and those are the people that are going to get it done because, they're doing so many things, they know how to get things done. And it's the same with the volunteers and the people that I get to see, the people that run these major corporations that also have time to come out and volunteer and help us make people's lives better in the community. And I think that they sense that, if they spent all of their time just doing their business and just making money and just being as focused on that as they can, there would still be something missing in their life. And I think that, people see, and some of it is very, spirit-filled, or maybe, because of a sense of, needing to help people. And some of them may be doing it just because, they see that a better community makes their company a better place to work, that makes their company more successful. You can't run a great company in a community that's in serious trouble. So in order to make their company as good as possible, they need to help out in the community. And so, I never question the motives that people bring to what it is that they're doing. I just know that what they're doing is helping people and making every place a better, all of us better, and making our community a better place to be.
Yeah. You mentioned different motivations of people. For yourself, your own motivation, you kind of touched on it, and I know the family that you grew up in. And what were those core values that you think even go all the way back to your youth that are important for you personally today to live out?
I think that I've always, as you said, the family I grew up with, the people I've been around, you have a responsibility to help out people around you. There's just always been volunteerism in everything that I've seen. I've been very fortunate. The family I grew up in, the situations that I've been put into, to be able to live a comfortable life, but that's not enough just to live in that little bubble. You got to go out and do other things. So volunteering at church, volunteering in other organizations, putting yourself out there to be an example for people. It's just always been a part of who I am, and so I've never been satisfied with just even now. You could look at it and say, well, the work that I do is making a community a better place, so I'm working on that. I've just always wanted to get involved in other things, so volunteer on this board or get involved in that committee to do things. So yeah, it's never been a question for me. It's never been like I gotta find, it's just always come naturally. So I think you're right. It goes back to the way I was raised.
And then you find a real joy in giving.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know that I see people whose lives are made better by the things that we do, I spent years on the board of Community Support Services, which is a mental health organization in town, and you learn a little bit about it. You see some people, gosh, you didn't even know they had these issues, and it's certainly not something you share publicly, but you find out, boy, we're so close to this, we're so touched by this in ways we don't even know that. It just makes me feel better knowing that I don't know all the people that I'm helping, but I can definitely, see that it's making a difference in people's lives.
Yeah, good.
There's a book I once read called When Helping You is Hurting Me. And you mentioned if you want something done, go find the busiest people, and I know you're a busy guy. How do you keep from suffering from burnout? Or I guess the question I'm asking is, how do you maintain some balance in your life amongst all that you're doing?
Well, for me, I find the passion in what it is that I do, and it never feels like it's a monthly board meeting. What is that? It's not that big a deal. You go out and you do that, and you spend the time preparing for it. That's not such a big deal. I like what I do, and I just go out and enjoy it. The work that we do is sometimes very busy, and there's sometimes when you have a little bit less pressure on you, so you take advantage of those times. I tell kids this all the time. If you figure out a way to figure out what it is you love to do, and then go find a way to get paid for it. And I mean, that for me is what work is, and I love what I do. So that's not a big depressing thing. The hobbies that I have, the avocations that I'm involved in, are just things that I enjoy doing. So it never feels like a burden. I mean, there are days when I celebrate. Hey, I get to go home after work tonight. I don't have to go here and go there. But when I do, it's just I love what I'm doing, so I'm going to go out and do it.
How are you able to do that? Some folks out there might be saying, I got to be honest here. I don't like what I'm doing. It's wearing me down. I hate it.
Right.
Connect for me why you love your job with what you just said.
For me, I feel like I said, I'm a couple degrees removed from actual service, and I have the utmost respect and so fortunate there are people who are out there who can go and get involved with people, mentally ill or people who are homeless and things like that. That's not where my gifts lie. But I know that the fact that I go in and help raise the awareness of United Way, so more people are willing to give money, so we can help those organizations. It's a few degrees removed from the actual service, but I know that what I'm doing is making a difference. And for me, like I say, the job that I do, I go in, and some days I get to roll up my sleeves and be real creative, and some days I have to I'm in meetings with the shirt buttoned up, and I'm meeting with these important leaders in town, and so. It's just the variety of things that I do that makes my job enjoyable for me, and hopefully people, like I said, you find that if you don't like numbers, then gosh, don't go be an accountant. That to me is just that's common sense. If you like arguing, you're going to go be a lawyer, right? I mean, if you like advocating for people, you just find what it is that you really are most passionate about, and then you go find out a way to do that.
Let me ask this. You enjoy so much of it. What do you find at times challenging about your work?
Well, it's a difficult economy, and there are times when, despite your best efforts, you're not going to meet your goals. You're not going to raise as much money as you want. And you know that all that means is that fewer people are going to be helped. So, that to me is wearing. Gosh, we got to find new ways to reach more people. People are being as generous as they can. My job is to go out and find new ways to do that, and to raise money, to get more people aware and get them to understand that, like I said, you're going to make a better community. It's going to make a better place for you to live if we help everybody live a better life. So for me, that's the challenge of finding those new ways to raise the money.
Yeah. So it's a positive challenge.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Well, hey, we'll be right back in a few moments here for our next segment of Spirit at Work.